Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's me and Trouble, innit? Trouble. Trouble with a capital T. The Maine Coon who... Be good. The Maine Coon who loves making loads and loads of racket. And anyway, I'm going to get straight into the meat and potato. Do you want to go, or are you just chilling out? You're just deciding to just lay? He's such a little goon, isn't you? Such a little goon. Do you want to go? Do you want to go? Yeah? Do you want to go down? Or do you just want to lay? I think he just wants to lay. Anyway, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. You're amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. You're looking fantastic. This is video 2 of 2 today. A bit of a change because I was going to do another video, but I'll do that tomorrow now. But look, I want to have a conversation because I think it's an important conversation to have. I've been watching Charlie Kirk for over 10 years. I live in the UK. I'm not native to the US, but a lot of my audience are from the US. I have family in the US. I have family in Florida and Nebraska, Lincoln and Fort Lauderdale. And look, what I've learned very quickly, I tried to stay away from politics. I didn't really want to talk about it because I know how dangerous it is. Dangerous if you're a creator, because you can literally say the wrong thing and your channel will be pulled out from under you. You know, in the UK, it's fucking insane. There's multiple people a day. I think it's like 20 people a day who are getting arrested for social media posts. And we were the people who created free speech and sent it off into the world. And now we seemingly don't have it. It's insanity. But around the Charlie Kirk situation, what I see more and more is people's ability to listen to what someone says and completely take it out of context. Completely out of context. And it's like you have to ask yourself a question, and we're going to get into the trans debate in a second. And I know it's mental that we have to have this conversation because it's something that I feel is very possibly what ended up seeing Charlie Kirk dead. Unless there was something more, I don't know, unless there's something else regarding, something more in depth, more surrounding TP USA, Erica Kirk, the security team, because they all seem to be acting dodgy as fuck. So I acknowledge that nothing's off the table, but we've really got to look at it. And I'm going to play you a clip in a second, and it's off the back end of J.K. Rowling and Emma Watson's beef between each other, with Emma Watson being a mass pro kind of trans movement follower and J.K. Rowling a woman's right advocate. And it's insanity, and this is gonna blow your fucking mind. And it's only a short clip done by True Geordie, and it shows you the danger that is out there, and what will kind of bring home what Charlie Kirk was facing. He would go to campuses and he would have these disputes. He would raise his point, and do you know what? You didn't have to always agree with what he said, but if you truly listened to what he said, I don't think there was any room for misinterpretation. So my question is, were people purposefully misinterpreting what he said because it suited their mentality, their agenda, or were they just not listening to the source and just listening to what other people said and not fully understanding or appreciating the point being pushed? So let me just say, from this standpoint, from the trans argument standpoint, what my interpretation of Charlie Kirk's stance was. And if you disagree, then please do let me know down below. And True Geordie says it as well. People can do what they want. People can do anything they want. If they want to become a female and they're a male, that's absolutely fine. Do it. Do it. That's your right to do whatever you want to do. If you want to dress like one, then do it. Do you know what I mean? If it's not going to hurt anybody, then do it. You can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt other people. But this is where the issue comes, because you split off into two things now, and that is the transitioning of children. And I'll ask you a question. If you had a child who was 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, and they said, Mum, I want to get a tattoo, massive tattoo of a skull on my back, and Mr. Beast. I love Mr. Beast. Would you let that child do it? I would say the vast majority of people would be like, nah, no fucking way. So why would you let them chop off their nuts and bolts? Do you know what I mean? Or, I don't know, have nuts and bolts put on them. And that's the issue. We have a situation where children who you wouldn't allow to make a decision to have a tattoo, but you're letting them make a decision to change their entire persona without fully growing beyond a point where they can make decisions from an adult perspective. They are making decisions from a child's perspective, and that's dangerous. And then the other spur off of all this situation is that women, biological women, have rights, the rights of a woman. And we can simplify this by just saying women's toilets and women's changing rooms. Do you think that it would be okay for a man to go into the women's changing rooms and toilets? Would you think that's okay? Do you think that we should just not have male and female toilets? We should just have toilets. That's it. And not changing rooms. So if you go into the swimming baths or things like that, there aren't male and female changing. There are just changing rooms. Do you think that that's how it should be? Because the issue comes here. In the trans debate, you have a scenario where, yes, you do have people who are genuinely transitioning people, and they deserve to go through that if that is fulfilling to them, if that completes them, if they have grown, they have gone past that childhood point where they can make a decision and deal with it, and they've looked at other situations, which Charlie Kirk would point out. He would turn around and say, look, what I would ask you to do first is just to make sure that there's nothing else in the background. There's nothing else. Have a chat with someone who's a professional. Make sure that there's nothing else making you feel the way that you feel that cannot be changed in order to allow you to understand that this, going down this path, that's not the way to do it. Because people do go down that path and then realise very quickly that that path was the wrong one. And then they're having to try and reel that back in, which in some situations is fucking impossible. So, again, I will say to you, there are good people, but there are also evil people. And once you open the floodgates to allow, say, men into women's changing rooms, men into women's toilets, it's very, very hard, if not impossible, to distinguish between who are genuine and who are dangerous. And that is where the problem comes. And that is where a lot of advocates for women's rights and trans clash, because it's as if the transitional people can't understand that there are still issues that go against women's rights and women's protections. And I don't know whether they do it on purpose. I don't understand. And it's getting to that point where you can do whatever you want to do as long as it doesn't risk hurting someone else. And this situation in itself has a potential to hurt women. It does. You can't get away from it. You can't deny it. But some people feel so strongly about people who raise these issues that they want them dead. And this is what I want you to look at. And there's two things we're going to pay attention to here. And I'll stop it so we can have a discussion to just touch on it. But listen to this fucking insanity.
Trans people completely understand that point. It's not an attack. I'd rather use the women's toilets. I bet you they're in a fucking better state than the men's are, because us lot leave them like a fucking shithole. But women, you all have to play by the same rules, so you all look after it usually, from what I understand. But the rules are there for fucking good reason. Now, as you can imagine, this did
True Geordie, if you don't know who True Geordie is, go and find True Geordie's channel. Just type in True Geordie. He's a UK YouTuber who covers an abundance of different things. Good guy. But he's literally just said what I've done. The issue with, and again, there's lots of things, but just if you just compartmentalise it into one thing and just say, okay, from a toilet perspective, from a changing rooms perspective, do you think that you should have male and female toilets? Or do you just think that anybody should be able to go in regardless? And if you're someone who doesn't think that you should go in regardless and there should still be gender toilets, then you must then understand the issue that this brings, as aforementioned. But listen to this.
A major backlash to J.K. Rowling, with people taking her words out of context and just hating her in the trans community especially.
People like J.K. Rowling need to fucking stop, because my people are dying because of her. She is killing us.
I'll stop you right there. J.K.
So she's saying that people are dying because J.K. Rowling is advocating for the fact that to transition as a child is wrong. And J.K. Rowling had done numerous posts that showed that some things like gender-affirming hysterectomies were happening to children. We're talking about children, not adults, but children. And that she was going against that. And this is a bigger argument. There's a lot more complexities to this. I'm going to skip forward. Might have to come back slightly. Just listen to this.
Out and killing trans women. Trans women will beat the fuck out of real women. Absolutely. The Olympics prove that. Obviously, there's people over-exaggerating everything she's saying.
Why is J.K. Rowling still alive? We should be focusing our efforts and our resources not on assassinating Trump, but instead on assassinating J.K. Rowling. That fucking wench needs to die. She needs to burn on the stake and die.
I think this is all the...
Fucking hell. Do you understand what you're dealing with? That's... I cannot stress enough the issue there. And people wonder why, from the Charlie Kirk assassination perspective, you've got an individual who they're claiming is the shooter. You've got his partner, Lance Twiggs, who has vanished off the fucking face of the planet. Multiple people connected to Lance Twiggs who seemingly had the knowledge that Charlie Kirk was going to be fucking killed. You've got... it's fucking mental. This entire situation is mental. And this is a guy who is saying that we shouldn't even, we as a trans community shouldn't even be focusing on assassinating Donald Trump. We should assassinate J.K. Rowling. And why? Because she's understanding and raised the question that how do you distinguish between a genuinely honest trans person and someone who is a predator posing as one? And the simple way that you can do away with some of these problems that put the most vulnerable people in our society at risk is to put safety measures in place. That's not to say that you shouldn't be doing things, but just because you do things, it shouldn't give you access to doing other things that ultimately puts people at risk. And for that, apparently, you should be executed for saying that. But there's another individual here. Let me just see if I can skip forward slightly to this clip here. And just listen to this person. And this just proves that in on the grander scheme of things, they don't really know what they're fucking moaning about. They don't really know because they've listened to other people. Listen.
Security up because she was in serious danger.
I'm trans and I can't support an author who hates me, so...
Do you think that she hates you?
She seems to. Like, she's constantly going after me and my trans siblings' rights, saying that we're a threat to everyone. We just want to be happy and live. Like, that's all.
And she's literally not saying anything that you can't do other than going into women's bathrooms and saying that children shouldn't be getting these levels of surgery so young. That's...
And that's it. That in a nutshell is it. So the misinterpretation is potentially what is getting people put on the hit list. To not fully listen, not fully understand, not fully grasp the overall context of what's being said. And this is why Charlie Kirk's message was so fucking important. Charlie Kirk said that open dialogue is so important. So important. Because as soon as the talking stops, the violence starts. And this is why. Love you all. Mwah.